We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Philadelphia Eagles offense, looking how the Dolphins can kind of slow them down, attack them, and, really just thinking about their game plan. I think it's going to be pretty obvious what they're going to do. They're going to go in their gun action and then do a lot of, read option, RPO type things with their running game. And when you have Hurts back there and he has that read option, it just adds an extra number down to the box. And I think the Dolphins would struggle to stop that specifically. And then they might have to, have an extra number down in the box than usual. And then I think that's when you see the Eagles go quick passing game. They're going to go quick passing game early. I think a lot of, slants or quick outbreakers, RPO type things to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Also some tight end work with Goddard. And then once they establish that, I think you're going to see some play action deep shots. As you'll see throughout this Jets film, how the Jets played them. They go cover 3 here, putting a fire zone blitz. And it just gets one-on-one with A.J. Brown. Hurts does a good job in the pocket, reading that he's hot, getting rid of the ball quickly, and they just get a nice little leverage advantage. This guy's playing outside leverage, but a lot of depth here too. And Dolphins are going to have to really good with their leverage and their depth and how they distribute route concepts down the field, because these receivers are very good. It's going to be a tough matchup, and if the Dolphins defense can at least play decent, I think they have a pretty solid chance to win. Look at what the Jets do here. They go quarters, and then look at their defensive front. Very interesting how they're bringing the blitz. They get pressure on Hurts. They just get a number advantage up front. Their defense is so good, but they still, it ends up getting completed for a first down just because Hurts is just a very good player. A.J. Brown, getting him tight and condensed. And usually, if they're running tight and condensed and he's just running a dig across, the Dolphins would struggle to cover this, I think, just right away. If he threw this on the break, I think this would be open. But they do a good job on the back end distributing this. Everything gets covered up. I think, the tight end is open there late, but Hurts is forced to escape the pocket. This is 3rd and 7 situation, and you got to be able to tackle him because he's going to be trying to make plays. So getting those sacks, not allowing him to escape the pocket is such a big component of this game. Here's the scramble element again. Eagles slight motion inside. I think they're actually the least likely to motion team, and there's positive and negatives that come with, motioning and not motioning. Dolphins are the best at it. Eagles are the best at not doing it and just forcing, Jalen Hurts. It's a 1st and 5. I think they had an offsides to play before, and you see they're going to try to take some shots down the field. When it's not the quick passing game, it's a play action, and then Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown both running double moves or vertical down the field. They're running the post right here, and then they have Dallas Goedert working over on the middle, which I think, could be a big sore spot for this defense, because look how their linebackers play. They gain depth. He finds the number 2 working across, able to see him with his vision, and then they get pressure on him. You got to be able to get pressure, but you got to be able to finish these tackles, and he's able to escape, just pick up 4 yards on a play where they had everything perfectly played. It's going to be a very tough challenge for this Miami Dolphins defense. Stopping the run. The Jets did such a good job, even when they were playing too high. They're showing a quarters cover 6 type look pre-snap, and they just run, their usual stuff, some inside zone, split zone type things with DeAndre Swift, and they stopped it all game. And the Eagles usually dominate up front, but you can see how they play this. The right guard tries to swim over the top. He kind of slows him down, takes this. They try to insert with the tight end, and it just takes us over the top. The end is able to reset this line of scrimmage, and everyone just fills in here very nicely. So it shows that the Eagles' offense, their running game, isn't unstoppable. The Jets proved that. Now the Dolphins don't have as good as a run defense. They've been playing better as of late with their run defense, but it's definitely, I think, the most worrisome part is if they get that run off, the run game going for the Eagles. I think they're going to be very difficult to stop pretty much anywhere, because that will open up the passing game later on, and they have too good of weapons, and Jalen Hurts is too good off script for them to, not be able to shut down this running game to have a chance. Lots of RPOs. This is a 3rd and 2 situation. They orbit motion A.J. Brown. They RPO underneath, and then they throw the flat back to the running back. I think the Dolphins defense should be aware of this stuff. This is something the Dolphins offense does a lot, so they've practiced against these RPOs. Play action underneath. Be aware for the polar zone read, but then this guy's also got to be able to get out to the flat. And they just don't play it correctly for the Jets, but these are things that they, it's going to be offering challenges to your defense, because it's just a numbers game up front. He's reading this defensive end. He sees him pull down, and now he has the option to just on the move throw it out or run, and then 3 is forced to choose between him and Jalen Hurts, and there's just too many numbers for the Eagles to have there for the Jets to counter that. Lots of RPOs, lots of screens. They're they're lining up Dallas Goedert in the backfield and just throwing the quick screen to him. They have the receivers block. I don't think I'm too as worried about this part of the game for the Dolphins. They actually are a pretty good team versus the screen. Their D-line, their linebackers are hustlers. They get out there, and then they have players like Kohu, who plays the screens very well. Holland plays screens well. Like, I think they have players who are very comfortable in those areas. So I'm not too worried about this part of the game. I think for the Eagles, like, they'll still be solid and like decently effective, I'm sure, at times. But this is an area I think the Dolphins can be pretty comfortable playing normally. But if there is a number advantage, the Eagles do go out there. They block pretty well with their receivers, and they're pretty good after the catch. Even on 3rd and longs, this is a 3rd and 8, and they're still trying to throw the screen. They motion across, try to throw this screen to Goddard, and ends up just getting tipped apart and intercepted. Like, a very unfortunate play. But this is just, I love the Jets fronts too. They're always showing like very unique fronts with their pressures, and then look what they bring off the edge, and it like actually attacks it pretty well, because if the Eagles are expecting blitz, they're going to throw a screen, but 11 plays it super well, knocks the ball out of his hands, and then gets the interception. So just a lot of individual good plays for the Jets defense by individual players, and sometimes, it's hard to replicate those similar types of successes, but the Dolphins, players got to step up, make big plays when it matters most. As I'm saying, if they establish the run and like the quick passing game, they're going to take some play action deep shots on 1st down. This is 1st and 10. Hurts likes to take these shots. He goes deep to A.J. Brown. He just misses them. Gets incomplete. Jets playing, quarters to the bottom here. They're going to attack this. Dolphins will run some cover 6 type stuff. Looks like they're playing like cover 2 to the top and quarters to the bottom, just by how they're aligned. And, they're running some deep overs with the dig behind it. Definitely some, pretty normal stuff. But these things are open. The safety is going to drive on that for Devontae. But then he tries to throw it deep to AJ, and it just doesn't get connected. So Dolphins, I feel like, have been pretty good at playing the deep stuff. I'm just worried about that sort of intermediate deep over the middle type area. Because when it comes to, like, super deep, I think the Dolphins have been pretty solid. But you got to be aware of this and play things pretty well, because they have the players and the play calls to really attack them in that area. Eagles love to go empty and then just, get the ball out quickly, throwing that, glance route to A.J. Brown, and then you got to tackle him. The Dolphins' secondary has to tackle A.J. Brown. He's too physical after the catch, and this is the type of plays that I'm really worried about with this defense. Jets playing quarters, especially here at the top, and this guy opens up. He's like bailing out pre-snap, opening up his hips, and I feel like the Dolphins defense kind of does this. If this is Eli Apple in this scenario, this play's going to be open all game, especially, this guy gets out to the flat where he's supposed to be. They're playing the hook to their side of the field, and you got to be able to finish for A.J. Brown. Those types of plays, I think, are pretty worrisome for this Dolphins defense. Got to play a little tighter on those things. They did throw this, like, angle, Texas-type route to DeAndre Swift. I think they also did it with Devontae Smith out of the backfield. This is something I think the Dolphins have to be aware of, because I think the linebackers could get abused in this type of play. I don't think, the linebackers are the best coverage guys on the team. And, like, DeAndre Swift, I'm pretty sure, scored on that exact route for the Lions last year in the Dolphins game, like, in that touchdown. I think he beat Jerome Baker on this exact same play. So something just to be aware of. They're going to run that. They basically just give him an option right here. Look how wide he takes this. And just depending on where the linebackers are aligned, he can break to the inside, to the outside. He goes inside, and then they don't finish tackling either, which Dolphins need to do. And, like, this is versus the Jets, and the Jets played very good defensively, and like these big positive plays are still gonna happen. I am worried about them attacking like that part of the field. They go play action on 1st down again. It's 1st and 15, and they have the clear. They run dagger to this side of the field, and Devontae Smith just drops it. If they get this much time in the pocket out of play action, these plays are gonna kill the Dolphins defense. Like, they run dagger. Number 2 is just running vertically. He's just a clear out route. Jets are running quarters at the top here, and the dig comes open. Linebackers got to gain a lot of depth here, but that's a tough ask for them to do. And then Hurts finds him, escapes the pocket, and somehow Devontae drops it. I'm not sure what happened on that play specifically. I think he had an off game, and I definitely think he's going to try to bounce back in this one. He's a player I'm pretty worried about as well. Jets go like single high and play like press or soft press. If the Dolphins do this, which they don't do very often, the Eagles will go vertical. Just run a straight vertical against that. They're going to do that pretty much every time they see this type of coverage. Dolphins do it when they see it, and they don't see it very often. It's not something the Dolphins defense has done very often, but if they do try to do this in certain situations, the Eagles will take their deep shots. So you got to be able to squeeze these coverages, get some pressure pretty quick, but they're going to throw that ball out there and, just winning these one-on-one matchups. I guess, it's not the highest percentage throw, but it's still something that they have to be aware of in these situations. Jets just showing all these different fronts every single time, but sometimes you can't beat a perfect throw and a perfect catch. And this is where, like, Hurts kind of just had, like, an uncharacteristic uncharacteristic mistake on this 3rd and 9. Maybe he made the wrong read. I don't think he ever saw this guy drop out of here. I think they were showing some pressure pre-snap. This guy drops out. He becomes this hook. I guess Hurts just never sees it. They rotate into a cover 3. Maybe he's expecting a different coverage on this specific play. He throws it to Goddard and throws the pick. Got to give these guys different looks pre-snap. I just think you got to be able to disguise. The Dolphins have not been disguising a ton of looks. That's usually what Fangio is known for. I guess he just doesn't trust the guys, disguising things, giving quarterbacks different types of looks. Look how they drop out of this. I think this is what he's seeing. He's seeing 57 look like he's showing pressure, but he drops out. And once he sees this hips open, Hurts reads that and thinks, oh, I'm going to have this open part of the field. And I guess he just doesn't see 22 behind this cluster. And then he throws it and it gets picked off. So disguising things pre-snap will always end up, leading to, more advantageous plays just like that. Play, that one breakdown. Jets going into cover 6. This is basically that 2nd and 10 gets knocked down and completed. You can just see how the Jets play things. They distribute their routes so nicely on the back end. It's very fun to watch. Playing quarters at the top. Number 1, holding his inside leverage, running that, kind of a lazy dig. And then they have the over route. They, match this up here. The cover 2 corner goes to take away the corner. They play this pretty nicely. If Hurts wasn't getting pressured, he probably could have found this over route to Smith, but he's getting pressured. So it's a combination of your secondary, your defensive front making plays, and then Hurts has to escape. And then the guy who's playing, as the deep half defender closes very fast. That's how you get your safeties involved to make plays, is when you're getting some pressure up front. So if you guys know the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully the Dolphins win. See you guys next time. Peace.